The
yeah, what they gonna
Kings.
do?
Yeah,
They need to make a move, man.
they definitely bounced back last night against the Hawks, but they've hit
Ish.
that patch. Yeah, ish,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They've hit that patch where it's kind of very clear. Like if they want to get over the hump, they've got to do something, right? I mean, they're a good team, but if it just feels like something is needed. I can almost sense it in Mike Brown where he's like, "This ain't enough, man. This ain't enough. I need a little bit more."
I hear you. I don't know what they're gonna do. The vibes are off. That's the way I'll put it. Like they're not great. I think some of the guys, Kevin Herter comes to mind, Harrison Barnes comes to mind. We know them with Davion Mitchell are widely known to be available. I think if you go back to last season and they were this Cinderella team and they break the playoff drought and they're, the energy in the city was so incredible. And really for local Kings audience, like that is a team that will probably to some degree be forever celebrated because they kind of
Oh yeah,
ended the drought. But then fast forward to this year, and the reality is with Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox in the front office and Mike Brown and the way he's wired, they didn't have any intentions of just kind of running it back and just trying to have fun with the same squad. And so then you see, and this happened early. Kevin Herter was falling out of the rotation early on, and I felt like he became the poster boy for like this player who was, I think, personally so fulfilled by what they all accomplished last year, and then had a connection with the fans. And I think in a guy like that's mind, like he found a spot for a while. And then it's like, you have a bad start to the season. Now
goodbye.
and you quickly learn
Right.
like, oh no, it's actually Fox Sabonis and Keegan Murray and everybody else is on the table.
Everybody else is expendable. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And you see stuff, it's been a weird time. So like, and you never know, I don't want to connect dots that don't exist, but like the tension and the energy is strange right now. You might have seen in the news this morning, and it was honestly a little slow to come to light. Like De'Aaron Fox has not spoken to the media he went 16 days without talking to the media.
What?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it was
Why?
one of that's the part that, I mean, I do have a decent amount of clarity on it. I'm probably not going to share everything publicly, but it's like it's a weird one where he got criticized after they lost to New Orleans. And at one point they were down 50 in a home game a couple weeks back.
Yes, remember that. Yep.
And it got highlighted. And Mike Brown was asked essentially why in these one-sided blowout losses is your leadership council, which he's talked before about who that is. It's, I think, Fox and Sabonis. I forget who all is in it, but it's a small group of guys. So the question was basically, why don't these guys talk after blowout losses? They had Keon Ellis up at the podium. To me, it's a fair question, but I think in the wake of that, De'Aaron was upset with the way that he took some criticism there. It was reported in the Sacramento Bee today that night that he had actually not been asked to talk. He had a bad game and they were trying to give him a night off, I believe. And it's a bad set of circumstances to where he just went dark. And so that's its own thing. But then you have, in a little speculation here, but like Harrison Barnes is not talking much. And it feels very much like, he's a grown man who's aware that he's on the block and doesn't feel like
he's been through this before. Yeah.
I know how this ends. Right.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like, there's a lot of that. It's the anti-DeJounte Murray vibe, if you will. These guys are not taking it as well, I don't think. And everybody's playing the waiting game. So I don't know what they'll do, lately. And some of this is out there. This is in your neck of the woods, DA, some Kyle Kuzma chatter.
Yep.
That I think could be real. I think a Jeremy Grant kind of aspiration that Portland probably is not going to cooperate with. But they're aggressive and I think they know they got to do something.
I would say it's going to be very costly to get Kyle Kuzma not because of his stature. Nobody is under the illusion that he's a, all NBA level player, but he's the best player the Wizards have. So, so they're going to ask for a lot for him. And rightly so, because they can lose with him, they can lose without him. So if they're going to lose without him, they need to get something really good for him. And I think it will have to be more. That's all right. It will have to be more than probably what Toronto got for Siakam. Let's put it that way. That's not going to get it done. So we'll see. We'll see. I never say never, but we'll see.